Hello and welcome to Hyvinkää for the Finnish Grand Prix. It's round 12 of the FI MX2 Motocross World Championship. Weather creeping up outside, 23 degrees. Might be a little bit warmer as the day goes on though, around about 25, 26 is what we've been experiencing since Thursday when we arrived here. But a slight breeze in the air for the first time in the weekend as well. But the fans have turned up in their tens of thousands. They're getting ready to watch MX2 Race 1. About 50 kilometers or 30 miles north of the capital, Helsinki. First time we've been here since 1991. Not the same racetrack though. That was just the other side of the road. Some of it buried under the road actually, but part of that track still exists. I think there's a bit of an off-road centre there now, but we are here in Hyvinkää in Finland. Antti Pyränen from here, a former MX3 rider, of course, now team manager for Ice One Racing KTM and MX1, but Hyvinkää, a former four-time world champion, 3 of those in 500cc. Is a resident just the other side of town on a farm that he bought back in 1980 after retiring from the sport in 1979. He's here as an interested spectator as well, but had 21 Grand Prix in the past here in this area. Only one of them was a 125 GP or MX2 as it's known now, and that was 1985, and that was won by Dave Strybos. So all the MX2 riders here this weekend have little or no experience around this Hyvinkää racetrack, and I say little because maybe some of the Scandinavians like Harry Kulas from Finland, homeboy this weekend, may have ridden here in the past as well. So finishing touches going down on the start line area, just taking away those bumps, giving everybody the fair advantage, and the riders are getting ready now. They've already been out in their sighting lap, but Amy Dargan caught up with the riders, or some of the riders, a little earlier on. Let's hear what they had to say and who she's talking to.
I'm down by the skybox for MX2 Race 1. It's about to get underway, but first we're going to have a word with one of our riders. We're going to have a word with Harry Kulas. Harry, yesterday, best result of the year. Home advantage seems to be working well for you.
Yeah, it seems like that. So yeah, yesterday was quite good. Start was okay, and the riding was it's coming really good, you know. And I'm really enjoying now riding, and the home crowd was amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward for races, you know, just to get good start, and then I think if I ride my own race, then we can do a good race. Like hopefully top 10, and if good day, then I hope I go top 5.
How do you feel? Because I know some guys before their home Grand Prix get a little bit nervous or something like that. How do you feel? Because this is your first ever one.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, yesterday in the free practice I was like quite nervous. You know, I mean, I didn't feel it, but yeah, it seemed like when I was riding it was like really intense. You know, so. But after that I was coming better, and today I feel good. So so I hope it doesn't come in the race. So just focus in the start and focus every lap. So
thanks, Harry. Enjoy it out there today. Right, that's all from us down here.
Thanks, Amy. Then shortly after that, the riders went out on their sighting lap, and in a moment we will see MX2 Race 1.
Starting from Tuesday, we start with the youth training camp with John Vanderberg and my brother. So then 3 days with the training camp, and then now I need to do some trainings too. So it's been a really busy week.
Leox race was a good practice for this one, for the GP of Finland, and yeah, had a lot of fun, and always good to see friends from GP and from Latvia when I'm here in Latvia and close to it.
I think this winter we worked really hard, more on a bike, so it was good before season. But then, I think in last races before first GP, I made some injuries, so wasn't so good. And so now I think I needed to push more with physical conditions, and all the time in the end of the race we are like a little bit tired, and also like a little bit with speed, but more with physical condition.
Yeah, my season starts really good, and I was fighting with all the good guys. And then I had a crash when I injured my back. The result what I get in Tegums and Sweden was okay for me, and I hope to be back stronger in this GP. Yeah, this new bike's completely different, and I feel good on this bike. We make a lot of testing in winter time, and you can see the results are better for me. The handling is much different, and that's one of the important things for bike, and I like it really much. The power is pretty much the same as last year, but the handling is much better.
Of course, I want to stay in MX2 class because I like it more better. And for next season, I don't know yet because I don't know if I stay with Honda. But for sure, I want to try the new Honda bike. It looks good, and I think it's gonna be like much better than this year, or maybe best bike from all the bikes.
Paketin uusiksi ja sen jälkeen kuluksen tekemisestä. Siitä on näkynyt jälleen se kilo. Eilenkin Harri oli koko päivän ysynaamalla aivan loistavalla fiiliksellä. Ja se kertoo siitä, että Harri on valmis tekemään tulosta.
Jeffrey Hurlings, number 84, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, leads the World Championship with 542 points, and he's 139 clear of his teammate Jordi Tixier. Jose Boutron is third. He's another 50 points further back. Christophe Charlier and a monster in his Yamaha is fourth, ahead of Glenn Coldenhoff on the standing construct KTM. He sits fifth in the championship, and he was the qualifying winner. That was just him there, 2:59 going out of shot. He was the qualifying race winner yesterday, taking his third pole position of the season, and he led every single one of those laps as well. There was a big pile-up going through the first corner, which was started actually inadvertently by Dean Ferris as he went through that 90-degree turn. He lost the front end, it folded on him, and in quick succession, Dylan Ferrandis, Jeffrey Hurlings, Max Anstey, Kevin Fors, and Alexander Tonkov all went flying into the back of him, sent riders sprawling all over the track. And Jeffrey Hurlings then had to pick himself up from dead last to get to 9th. Dean Ferris got through to 15th. Ferrandis got through to 16th. Max Anstey could only get back to 22nd because he was riding with a front brake that was jammed on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2 machine. So there was a little bit of fun and games going on out there on the circuit. It's a pretty short lap here, even though it's just over 1,500 meters long, 1,550, something like that. But it's a series of long straights and tight turns, but the track now a little bit different, more like 140 something a lap, but very physical. It's going to be a tough race because there's going to be a lot of laps because the circuit around about 15-20 seconds shorter than it normally would be. But the crowd are on their feet. Dave Nicol, our FIM race director there, giving the signal for the 15 and 5 second boards to go. Our man Andy Summers down in the doghouse, getting ready to pull the pin on the start gate, which is ready to go any moment now. And a good reaction there from Jeffrey Hurlings, but Harry Kulas alongside him gets an even better one, but so too does, well, Coldenhoff, I think, hitting the stripe first, and no drama at the back of the field, but going through into turn 2 in second position. Hurlings and one of the Yamahas at the inside as well. There's Charlier mid-pack, and Petrov as well buried. But Hurlings already leading the way. So Hurlings then, Coldenhoff, and then it's one of the Will Understands. Is it Jake or is it Romain Fevre? It's Romain Fevre. Dean Ferris is the leading Monster Energy Yamaha rider though. He's in 4th. Maxime Dupre is 5th. Alexander Tonkov is in 6th place. Tixier 7th, Ferrandis 8th, Nichols 9th, Boutron 10th, Pocock, Kulas, Just, Charlier 14th, Lapino 15th, Olsen 16th, Geiser, Kevin Fors, Jason Clement, and Una Heimonen, one of the local guys, down in 20th position on this opening lap as Jeffrey Hurlings gets going and sets about trying to destroy the opposition in the early stages of this race. But as you can see how choppy and wavy the racetrack is, 1 or 2 areas to look out for out on the racetrack, but Jeffrey Hurling's doing a good job at the moment. Pascal Rauschnecker just outside the points at the moment, so is Ivan Monticelli, Seva Brulyakov, Erki Karo, Evan Habe, Petr Petrov 26th. As we mentioned a moment ago, then we've got Max Hansen down in 30th at the head of James Dunn, Elliot Banks-Brown, Valtteri Malin and Tumi Metsola. On board with Lapino though, as he looks to find his way through the wave section, and over the finish line they go. So Ferris just going past our window now. So it's Hurlings, Coldenhoff, Ferris, Fevre and Dupre. They're your top 5. Then we've got Jake Nichols just behind Dylan Ferrandis there in 6th place. Replay of the start. No, rider going down. That was Tixier. So Tixier getting tagged, coming out of the left-hander to start his long way back up towards the end of the lap. So Tixier, who was, well, actually, he's outside the points now, we know that, but he's got a lot of work to do. So Tixier, who qualified 2nd yesterday after starting in 5th place, he knows he's got to pull the pin now, and the problem with this circuit is if you try to race it too hard, it will bite you. So you've got to ride smart, or ride like this guy, Jeffrey Hurlings. Track a little bit flatter than it was yesterday. Oh, for the double jump. That was very tricky yesterday, and it will do so. Will become more tricky as well as the race goes on, but Hurlings up the inside. And it was Coldenhoff, look, 2:59. Get Athena Holstrop award right there. Then it was Dupre in 2nd early on. Lapino's look. Just getting squeezed. It's only a very narrow 90-degree turn, made quicker actually by the fact that because they come over the finish line. Oh, and Lapino's down. So he's gone down hard as well because the bar pad has come off the handlebars as well, look. So that is also in a similar area to, I think, the quick chicane 6 down to turn 7 before the double jump. So he's out of 13th place. Meanwhile, Hurling's already 5.5 seconds clear of Glenn Coldenhoff on the standing contract. KTM, Ferris on the Montrenis Yamaha, just disappearing there in 3rd. Roman Fevre, who we're looking at hitting the jump now, ahead of his teammate, Jake Nichols. So the Wilbona Star boys, 4th and 5th. Nichols coming up from 9th place then on the opening lap. Maxime Dupre on the Montrenis Yamaha. That's Ferris going through. Here's Fevre and Nichols. Then Dupre should just burst into view any moment now. So Dupre, then Tonkov on the Ester Motorsports Honda. He's in 7th. Dylan Ferrandis on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki is 8th. Jose Boutron Silver Action KTM is 9th. Mel Pocock now in 10th place. Harry Kulas on the Saab car KTM is 11th. Tim Geiser on the Marchetti Racing KTM is in 11th. So the Slovenian pretty well placed at the moment. Jake Nichols just having a bit of a moment there as he entered that long back straight. Back end just stepped out on the takeoff. See a rock is laying there in the left-hander. Riders will be mindful of that. But Roman Fevre rode a good qualifying race yesterday, was 3rd and found a way past Charlier before being overtaken by Jordi Tixier in the closing stage of the race. He dropped back down to 3rd place, but track's still pretty flat in place at the moment, so it's going to be a pretty high tempo, but suddenly that will change as the riders start to hit the big bumps and the big holes, the big waves out on the circuit. Dylan Ferrandis, 122 in the red and yellow. He was looking to find a way around Tonkov, but he's left the door wide open, and he's left himself under attack from the number 17 of Jose Boutron, who's going wide. and gets a good drive as well, and goes past Dylan Ferrandis. So Boutron then suddenly going from 8th to 7th, and he's got Tonkov in his sights, the number 59 in the red, white and blue, as they head down the Monster Energy step down. And back onto the harder surface before it softens up through here. The long turn 5 tightens up over a slight spike that was a lot higher yesterday. Severely worn down now. And that was a corner where Lupino looked to have fallen a couple of laps ago, but Tonkov bouncing his way over the hole there. Nicely done from the Russian. Tonkov 13th in the championship in a moment. 20 points, 29 points down on Mel Pocock, who is a handful of positions behind the Russian in 10th place on the Monster Energy Yamaha, but Jose Boutron didn't get one of his normal electric starts yesterday. And found it a little bit tough going out there. He started in 9th, got up to 7th, dropped to 8th before finishing in 6th place. But he looks like he's brought his A game there as a front almost touched through the top of the berm at the end of lap 3. Hurling's already 11 seconds clear though. Koldenhoff 2nd, Ferris 3rd, Roman Fevre 4th, Nichols 5th, Tonkov here in the red, white and blue, number 59 down the inside. He's in 6th place. Number 17, Jose Boutron in 7th, the second rider in shot. Again, going for that slingshot around the outside of the Russian, just like he did with Ferrandis a lap ago. Not able to make it work for him this time, though. Gets up onto the step. There's Nichols just disappearing as well, so Nichols got to be careful, because Tonkov and Boutron both starting to close in on the Brit. And there is Nichols just in the right-hander. Tonkov 59 though, doing his best to close down. Very difficult part of the racetrack through there. You don't get on the gas straight away and keep the rear wheel on the ground. You're into those big rollers as Boutron looks to go up the inside. Again, bounces nicely over that hole there on the top of the middle roller. Down into 2nd. Through the tight right. It's coming out of turn 9. Then through the little chicane, double apex right-hander here. That was pretty flat yesterday, but you can see how it's waved out, where the guy's getting on the gas at different times, and then into the main wave section. Oh, Jake Nichols just getting out of shape there as well at the end of the straight. Final corner, coming round to complete lap 4. There's Tonkov and Boutron. You can, no sleep. That's the message. The hand signal there, maybe just saying, move more of the track, go from one side of the track to the other, don't follow, basically. And that's exactly what he's trying not to do. Big jump, this time he is closer to Tonkov to try and make that outside line work for him. Switches it to the inside, Tonkov covers the ground though. Oh, these two absolutely side by side. Another pull of the tear-offs there for Boutron. Look how the berm just disappears there mid-corner. Somebody's gone in and killed it. Jumping all the way to the bottom of the hill, Jose Boutron, number 17. Great stuff from the Spaniard. Hurling's 14 seconds clear of Koldenhoff. Ferris still in 3rd, Fevre 4th, Nichols 5th. They're just ahead of these guys here, 59 and 17. They're having their own battle for 6th place. Tonkov and Boutron. Then in the background looks to have picked up his rhythm and his pace again. Dylan Ferrandis on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki. Then Harry Koulas has suddenly appeared from nowhere. He's now in 9th place. Then Mel Pocock, the 119, is in 10th on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Behind him is Maxime Dupre, so he's found a way past his teammate, as Pocock. And just behind them, Ivo Monticelli. Now, Monticelli in the qualifying race yesterday, when Hurlings found a way through, as he charged from the back of the field after going down at turn 1, Monticelli went, you know what, I'm going to see if I can stay with Jeffrey Hurlings in the sand, and he did for 4 laps. So there's nothing wrong with the speed of that factory TM, the Ritchie racing machine, that Ivo Monticelli's riding. And we all joked afterwards, he just got himself a free riding lesson in the sand by Jeffrey Hurlings. There's Boutron going after Tonkov. Will he swing wide and try to square him off as the board goes out to Tonkov? Braking bumps starting to appear at the end of the start straight as they disappear through turn 1 over the little plateau. Jump. Into turn 2, big braking bumps. It's always been a choice of 2 lines there. The second one, the inside line already created before we arrived here on Thursday. But Kulas on Sarkar Racing KTM, the Estonian-based team, running his home Grand Prix. First time for the Finn. He's ridden European rounds before at Vantaa, just outside of Helsinki, not far away from the airport. That's Ferrandis looking to go after Butron now. So Butron is putting all the effort to close down on Tonkov. Butron there, number 17, in 7th place. And suddenly, 1 or 2 little mistakes have crept in, and Ferrandis going after the Spaniard here in the red and yellow. And he dives down the inside, but will he get over the double jump? It's a bit of a stretch for him, just makes it. So 23 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. Plus 2 to run as well, 2 laps. When the time reaches 0, and we've already had 6 laps complete. Hurling's already over the line. 140.8 last time around. Koldenhoff about to come through any moment now, and that gap is already 17.5 seconds. And he's lapping 2 seconds a lap slower than our race leader and championship leader as well, Jeffrey Hurlings. Dean Ferris, another 2 seconds further back off the lap times, but 24 seconds off the lead, and 7 seconds off of Koldenhoff in 3rd place. Fevre 4th, Nichols 5th. Tonkov 6th, that's him there, 59, red, white and blue. 17. Butron is 7th. Ferrandis all over the back of him, or he was. He's going down the inside. There in the red and yellow, the 122. He's in 8th. Kulas 151 in the black. In 9th, Maxime Dupre has found a way past Pocock to 10th. Pocock drops to 11th. Tixier has charged through the field on the Red Bull KTM. After that crash on the first lap, he's now in 12th place, and just about a half a second behind Mel Pocock. Just saw him there at the bottom of the hill in the background. Then we've got Monticelli, Geiser, Charlier struggling to come through in 15th. Petrov on the Kimiya Raytech van der Leyen Yamaha is in 16th place after finishing 4th overall a week ago. Then we've got Max Anstey now in 17th. Evan Havey, Robert Chess and Jason Clement. The top 20 guys out on track at the moment. Butron just struggling with his rhythm at the moment, it looks like. Trying to go after Tonkov, but he's feeling the heat from Ferrandis just behind him. Max Brown down in 23rd, trying to move up. Lupino 27th. Rauschenecker out at the end of the first lap, so not sure what the standing construct KTM rider's problem was. Ferrandis on the left, pulls a tear off. Picks up the front wheel nicely over one of the holes there as it flicks through the little chicane on the left. Second overall at his French Grand Prix earlier on in the season. Dylan Ferrandis would love to find that kind of form as well here this weekend, but got a lot of work to do to find a way past Butron and Tonkov, the guys that are ahead of him. Tonkov in 6th place still. Once again, Tonkov goes tight, defensive on the inside on the red Honda, number 59. Butron round the outside, oh, and he almost leaves himself open as well from attack. From the 122, Dylan Ferrandis. Still pretty flat out there in places, so the long straights not cutting up as bad as they did yesterday. I mean, it was a brutal, gnarly track yesterday. Much of it flattened out last night. Tonkov looks over his shoulder, sees Butron ahead of him or alongside him and puts a squeeze on him. Going into the long turn 5, and Ferrandis round the outside, and he finds a way through. Great bit of riding there from Ferrandis. So catching Tonkov unawares, Butron unawares, and storms through and snatches 7th place away from the Spaniard Jose Butron, and now looking to jump down the inside of Tonkov, who probably still thinks it's Butron alongside him, and then sees a flash of red, and Ferrandis right where he needs to be, but look at that, keeping it in there. Tonkov and denying Ferrandis a way through into 6th position. Wasn't about to be bossed around. Tonkov then, just a moment ago. Tonkov, I thought he was just a little bit offline then a moment ago. 8 laps complete. This battle here. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, all over the line as quick as a flash. Heading down past pit lane into the first corner, and there is Harry Kulas, 151. Fancies his chances now. The Spaniard ahead of him, number 17, Jose Butron, just looks like he's struggling here. Needs to regroup, and I think he will as well. As Harry Kulas goes wide around the outside on the Sarkar Racing KTM. So this battle here for 6th place, currently led up by the red Honda, the number 59, Ester Motorsports rider, Alexander Tonkov, but Ferrandis tries to find a way through on the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki. So a couple of problems early on for Ferrandis, but he's regrouped and settled down. And he's going after Tonkov, trying to sling his way around the outside here like he did Butron a lap ago. It wasn't working yesterday, that line. Certainly working today, though. Oh, he gets bounced just through the big holes there on that turn. The left-hander before coming down the straight. So Ferrandis suddenly finds himself in 6th place. Fans' favourite, though. They want this guy, number 151, Harry Kulas, to do something this weekend. Oh, nice move there as well. Drops it right across the front of the 17 of Jose Butron. Kulas now goes into 8th place. Had a new lease of life since he's joined the Estonian-based team. Harry Kulas, just as early as back as the Swedish Grand Prix a couple of weekends ago, the first of 3 GPs on the road. Of course, Sweden at Uddevalla, Latvia last weekend in Kegums, and here we are in Finland at Hyvinkää. Dean Ferris, though, on board with the Monster Energy Yamaha rider. 11 seconds behind Glenn Coldenhoff. But Hurlings, he continues to lead the way with his teammate, 911, Jordi Tixier. He's now there in 10th place, so it's been one heck of a ride so far for the young French kid. Jordi Tixier continues to push on, launches over the Monster Energy step down in pursuit of Jose Butron, who we've seen 3 guys go past him in the space of a couple of laps. Those being Dylan Ferrandis, Harry Kulas. In fact, Alexander Tonkov was already there, wasn't he? So, lap times for Tixier, 1:44. And Tixier, 1:44.3 for him. Butron, 1:45. So he should be on the back of him in no time at all. As the Will Bonastan GM Racing KTM riders, 4:61. Roman Febvre in 4th, and Jake Nichols here, number 45, in 5th place. Duking it out. Look how close Ferris is there. 111 just disappearing out of shot now. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th right there. So Jake Nichols all of a sudden not just looking at the rear wheel of his teammate, Roman Febvre, in 4th, but also possibly looking at closing in and passing Ferrandis. And is that Clement, not Ferrandis, Dean Ferris. Looks like Clement, 8:17. So he was in 19th place, but he goes out. So tough luck for the Bud Rockstar Racing Kawasaki rider. Back on board, though, with Dean Ferris. He's in 3rd. He's coming under pressure from Febvre and Nichols, though. Just over 15 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Dean Ferris, Monster Energy Yamaha, steps down over the Monster Energy step down, over the single, over the tabletop, and then the circuit just starts to pull away, and that's where Clement went down. Jason Clement just a moment ago. So Ferris just here with a green flash on the front of that mouth, on the chin guard of his helmet. Back marker between him and Roman Febvre. There's Jake Nichols just disappearing through. The yellow rider is a back marker. 2:44 of Jonas Heimonen. The rut starting to appear on the faces of the jumps now. A little bit more reminiscent of a circuit like Valkenswaard, for instance. We always knew it was going to be sandy here, but the old circuit just across the road, a little bit different to this. This one a little bit more open. Probably a little bit shorter in the lap time. There's Tixier. Well, we said he was going to be closing in any moment now on the rear wheel of number 17, Jose Boutron. He's got him right in his real tracks now. Trying to pick his line before squaring up and hitting the wave section. That's Tonkov in the background. So Tixier already found a way past the Russian on the Ester Motorsports Honda. As we go back on board with Dean Ferris out of the first turn. The plateau jump, he takes the wide option. Roman Febvre nowhere to be seen up the inside, though, in 4th place. And he's 4 seconds behind, that's why. But Jake Nichols all over the back of his teammate. Should see those two now. That's how close it is between 4th and 5th. Ferrandis closing in 6th. And Kulas closing in as well in 7th place. So Harry Kulas, who had his best qualifying result yesterday, looking at trying his best to get the best result of the season so far. And he's doing a pretty good job here. He's 15th in the championship and hasn't finished inside the top 10 all year this year. There's Dylan Ferrandis, 122. But Rockstar Racing Kawasaki, and he's watching the battle just ahead of him. Jake Nichols going up the inside of his teammate, and does he succeed? Oh, it's pretty close through there, and he has gone through. So Nichols slams his way into 4th place. Number 45, the lead, Will Vonestan, JM Racing, KTM riding out. His teammate just behind him in the middle, number 461, Roman Febvre. Well, Dylan Ferrandis would have just seen that a moment ago, and he would have said, right, well, if Jake can go through, I'm also going to go through. Done my best to close down the gap to you guys, and I'm right there where I want to be. Harry Kulas just losing a little bit of ground that lap. He's there right on the right-hand side. Coming into this final corner there, the 151 in the black shirt, and Ferrandis goes through, and there's a problem for Roman Febvre. He looks down. So Ferrandis and Kulas then, they go through. So it's Hurlings, Koldenhoff, Ferris 3rd, Nichols 4th, Ferrandis 5th, Kulas now 6th, Tixier 7th. Running repairs for Harry Kulas, for Roman Febvre. Disappears out of pit lane, rejoins the race, but difficult to see exactly where he's rejoined. But I'm not sure if there was a problem with the back brake there, or if there was a quick wheel change there or not. We just caught the back end of it. Dean Ferris, he is, what, 11 seconds behind Glenn Koldenhoff. And Glenn Koldenhoff started the season with a 2nd place finish. That was the moment Jake Nichols almost went by in his teammate. Very close at that point. Then he got bounced out of the way. Nichols steamed on through anyway on the next jump. And then a couple of corners later, Febvre was in. Running repairs on his Will Vonestan, JM Racing KTM. Here's Jordi Tixier, 911 in the yellow and blue. Has he found a way past Boutron? Yes, he has. So he's now going after Harry Kulas. Kulas ahead of him in 6th place because Roman Febvre no longer there. And the problem's not sorted then for Roman Febvre. Whatever the problem might be. Waved yellows, and that's coming out of that same area, out of the long turn 5, 408. So one of the local guys, Jami Numinen. Told you, this track is brutal. Coming out of here, you get it wrong through these holes, it's going to spit you off. That's exactly what's happened there. Lupino on board, so he's having his fair share of problems as well. Just outside of the points. No justification for him. Jake Nichols, though, coming under attack from this guy here in the red and yellow, Dylan Ferrandis. These guys are going to be fighting over 4th place, and Harry Kulas just behind them in 6th position as we look at Hurlings, 33 seconds clear of the leader almost, of the 2nd place rider almost. And he's coming through to complete his 14th lap now. Over the finish line for him, Jeffrey Hurlings. Well, what a difference 24 hours makes. He joked a couple of weeks ago how he always makes it hard work for himself on Saturday, but he knows what to do on Sunday, certainly. Second when he went through the first corner, second or third anyway. By the time he got to turn 3, he was already leading the race, found a way past Glenn Coldenhoff. And Roman Fevre saying, yeah, mechanic, come on, jump on, let's park it, let's go back to the truck. And he's disappointed because he was there in 4th place for much of the race, 5th when his teammate went by him and had to pull out of 5th place. Seba Brulyakov, 2:10. He's not in the points at the moment on the Garibaldi Honda. Dean Ferris just trying to work his way around a back marker. I was just looking at Harry Kulas in 6th place. Arrived here 15th in the championship. Closest he's been to the top 10 is 11th on 4 occasions. So by far and away his greatest finish this year. If he stays there, of course, in the remaining 8 minutes and 18 seconds. It looked like Max Anstey, number 14, into 13th place, 12th place now. He's just found a way past Ivo Monticelli. So Max Anstey, one of our guests on our MX Live studio show at 2:15 on MX Live TV. So about 30 minutes after the end of MX1 Race 1. We've also got Stefan Everts, the team manager for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, and Davide Guglielminetti, the Marchetti Racing KTM rider. So any questions for us via Twitter or Facebook? Just saw it flash up on the bottom of the timing screen a moment ago, and that will flash up throughout the course of the race, all day long. And get some questions sent to us if you can. Monticelli and 141, Maxime Dupre. So Dupre going after Monticelli, who's in 13th place, because Anstey just gone through into 12th. He's about 3 seconds down on Christophe Charlier. In fact, not even that now, because Charlier at the end of the straight, probably about a second ahead of Max Anstey. So Anstey, who had a terrible start, suddenly finds himself all over the back of Christophe Charlier. As Harry Kulas, 151 on the Sarkar Racing KTM. Still trying to find a way past Ferrandis. Oh, who has that gone down? Was that a Bud Racing Rockstar Kawasaki there in the corner? I think it might have been, you know. Yeah, because Ferrandis has disappeared off the timing screen. There he is, in the right-hander before the waves. I just saw a flash of red there. So it's Hurlings, Koldenhoff, Ferris, Nichols, Tixier now 5th, Boutron 6th, Kulas 7th. So Kulas has been... I wonder if him and Ferrandis had a bit of a collision there, you know, because Boutron's back in 6th and Kulas is now in 7th. Petrov 8th, Charlier 9th, Tonkov 10th, Anstey 11th, Monticelli 12th, Dupre, Pocock, Geiser take us down to 15th. Ferrandis rejoins the race in 16th position. That's him there, the 122. Clutch lever all bent up and out of position as well. Then it's Evan Havey, Kevin Ford, Robert Justin, Elliot Banks-Brown now in the points in 20th place on the HM Plant KTM UK machine. Number 14 on the yellow Suzuki, Max Anstey going after Alexander Tonkov. This is for 10th place. Tonkov holding the inside, Anstey cruises around the outside. Back marker just getting in the way there of Max Anstey, who had to take avoiding action. Couldn't get the pass done at that point. So Tonkov lives to fight another lap or so. Yeah, look, Kulas and Ferrandis both down in that long right-hander. I'm guessing that Ferrandis got it wrong and Kulas had nowhere to go. Fortunately for him, he was able to keep it upright. So Kulas remounts in 7th place, just ahead of Petrov. Petrov has had a blinding ride through the field. He's now in 8th position. I'm sure he was outside the top 20 on the opening lap, Petrov. There's Tonkov, 59, and the 14 of Max Anstey. In the white on the yellow Rockstar Energy Suzuki. And they go through in 10th and 11th. There's Ivo Monticelli on the Ritchie Racing TM, 128. Probably having a better ride than he expected in 12th position. Maxime Dupre just behind him in 13th, Geiser 14th, Mel Pocock 15th now. Evan Havey just behind him in 16th. About 6-7 seconds back, something like that. Then Ferrandis still waiting for him to come through. He was 17th at the end of the previous lap. It's now Kevin Ford. We're still waiting for Ferrandis to come through. Still nothing for the Frenchman, Robert Just. So Ferrandis then might have one or two problems and could not be picking up points here. In fact, he goes through now in 19th, just ahead of Banks Brown. Jordi Tixier, 911, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. He was in 5th at the end of lap 16. And he was about 4 seconds down on Jake Nichols, who's in 4th. And that's who he's going for now. Jake Nichols already over the line. 4 seconds further back is this guy here, 911 in the yellow and blue. On the factory KTM, Jordi Tixier. Oh, it's a horrible kicker on the takeoff there. Body language saying it was just a little bit uncomfortable on the landing there. Goes around the outside of the back marker, Golovkin on the Riga Racing KTM. There's Max Anstey there on the left. Number 14, still trying to find a way past Alexander Tonkov. These guys still fighting over 10th position. Oh, Boutron coming under pressure once again from Harry Koulas. Koulas on the right-hand side. Goes up the inside of the Spaniard, Boutron, who closes the door on the flying fin. Tough race for Koulas. He was there in 6th position for that collision with Dylan Ferrandis. Seva Brulyakov not getting over the double jump there. That's the danger with that one. The ruts on the face, when they start to appear, you have to commit, and if you can't, you have to jump into the hole. Number 20, James Dunn. Outside of the points on the HM Plant KTM. Been a tough MX2 season for him, the young Brit. Former 125 and 250 European Championship runner, but still toughing it out as I think Petrov has found a way past Boutron. So Petrov having another storming ride. He's now in 6th. Just saw Jussi Veiväläinen, former GP star, Finnish rider, of course, urging on this guy here, his young protege, the 151, Harry Koulas on the Sarkar Racing KTM, who's picked himself up off the deck after getting up to 6th place, lost a few positions after the little exchange with Dylan Ferrandis. He's now got Boutron just ahead of him, but the rider of the race for me so far has to be Petar Petrov on the Kimia Raytec Vanderlei Yamaha, just here in a white helmet in the blue. He stormed from outside the top 20. He's now in 6th position. Oh, Boutron. That was a big panic moment for him there. Hit a horrible hole on the takeoff of the jump. Missed his landing point by about a week. Just saw the body react in the air. Back end swapping side to side as they go around the back marker, James Dunn. Dunn doesn't get over the double jump, but Lupino now up in the 20th position, so he's had a tough time this MX2 race. Decent start, then crashed, was way down in about 27th position. Fell again, and he's now in 19th. I think that is 195 just ahead of him. Robert Just on the Latvia Elchny Honda. So looking at taking at least 18th place here. Hurling's over the line to complete 19 laps. Tixier also over the line, so we're waiting for Petrov. He goes through now. That's Tonkov, that's Koldenhoff. 259. Standing construct KTM. Second in his opening ride of the season in Qatar. He was second again in Brazil in the first moto. Had a third in the opening race in France. But the last 6 races outside of the top 10, bar the opening moto last week in Latvia, where he finished third. So another podium finish. On board with Ferris. Back straight, working his way up towards the final left before the finish corner. So you have the left-hander go back on yourself through the chicane, through the waves, and then finish corner just the other side there, look, to the right. Take off all chewed up. Through the chicane, you see 4, 5, 6 lines through there, all these horrible, gnarly braking bumps and holes through the waves on the corner. They're not artificial, they've just been generated from where the guy's getting on the gas. These were the artificial waves. 7 of those, not necessarily all the same distance apart, but here's Hurlings, 47 seconds clear at the moment. Still lapping 143.5 compared to the 47, but his opening lap was a 39.3, so gives you some idea how much slower the track has got as he launches down the back straight into this tight right, turn 9, where we were just on board with Dean Ferris a moment ago. And Hurlings, he'll hit the wave section. That's Geiser just ahead of him. Geiser in 14th place. And about to be lapped. A little bit of plastic laying in the track there, fallen off a body part, somebody's bike, I guess. But Hurlings on his final lap. Moto number 1, there's Charlier. So where's Charlier now? In 8th place. So the Monster Energy Yamaha rider was buried down in about 15th, 16th place for much of the race. He's found a way past Jose Boutron. So taking a while to get going, the Frenchman, who already a moto winner this year, of course, in Sweden. Second overall in that Grand Prix just a couple of weekends ago. How far is he behind Harry Kulas? Well, about 2 seconds. Boutron's found it hard this weekend. Moto number 1. That's him there, number 17. Jumping out the shot now. Tonkov, 59 there, red, white, and blue on the Ester Motorsports Honda. Still ahead of Max Anstey, number 14 on the right-hand side. These guys still making their way towards the one-lap board. A couple more corners for those guys as Hurlings over the double, through the waves, back straight for him. So just in the opposite direction. At the end of the next straight was where Anstey is. Jeffrey Hurlings. Up on the pegs. Bouncing around everything. Making it look so easy. Through the waves for the final time. And the KTM Red Bull factory rider out of the final turn. The checkered flag awaits, and it's going to be another win for Jeffrey Hurlings. This time a first-time race winner in Finland. So a complete masterclass then from Jeffrey Hurlings as he just pulls a tear off before heading down towards the paddock area. We're waiting for Glenn Koldenoff to come through, but we're on board with Dean Ferris. This is the double jump. See how difficult it is to get over that. 3 waves through the corner, then the back straight. So Koldenoff not over the line yet either. Quick rider check. Jake Nichols, he's in 4th, but Tixier all over the back of him. So Nichols will do well to hold on to 4th place here, but a great ride from Jordi Tixier as well, going down on the first lap. Just in the corner opposite where he is now, just over there to the left. He's ridden hard. That's Hurlings' teammate. You can see him just trying to get as much drive as possible. Nichols will know that he's there. Koldenoff over the line, 59 seconds. 55.9 seconds behind Hurlings, but he does hold on, Jake Nichols. Takes 4th place behind Dean Ferris. Jordi Tixier in the yellow and blue has to settle for 5th place, but Petrov still waiting for him to come through. He'll be 6th. He was at the end of the lap. There's Ferris, we're on board with him as he rides back down to the paddock. So Petrov 6th in the end. Kulas 7th, Charlier 8th, Boutron 9th, And Alexander Tonkov was 10th, ahead of Max Anstey in 11th. Give you the official classification in just a moment. But for now, though, Jeffrey Hurlings was the winner. Glenn Coldenhoff, the Athena Get Whole Shot Award winner. That was the moment that Glenn Coldenhoff picked up the Get Athena Whole Shot Award as he slid his way through turn 1 ahead of the rest of the field. Jeffrey Hurlings taking the checkered flag. 56 seconds clear of Glenn Coldenhoff. Made it look oh so easy as well.
Hyvin mahkui Nikolsikin ehkä, mutta jotain kävi pyöräät jarrussa ja sitten sen jälkeen vikakierroksen jotain outoa oli pyörässä, mutta muuten me kaikki hyvin, että tosi onnellinen.
Jeffrey Hurlings wins race 1 then. Round 12 of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship. Hyvinkää in Finland. Comfortably ahead of Glenn Coldenhoff, Dean Ferris, Jake Nichols and Jordi Tixier. And he lapped up to 13th place as well. Geiser was 14th. He was one of those that got lapped on the final lap. But Ivo Monticelli, he kept it in there. Give you the official classification now, though. Hurlings wins race 1 from Glenn Coldenhoff, Dean Ferris, Jake Nichols, Jordi Tixier, Petar Petrov storming right through to 6th. Harry Kulas unlucky to get 7th. Christophe Charlier, little slow getting to 8th. Boutron 9th, Tonkov 10th, Max Anstey, Dupre, Monticelli, Geiser, Habe and Pocock dropping to 16th in the end ahead of Kevin Fors, Alex Lupino, Robert Juss and Elliot Banks-Brown.
Pääseekö edes M-pisteille? On M-erän 7. ja vaikuttaa vielä pettyneeltä tuon erän jälkeen, niin ei riitä sanat kuvailemaan sitä, että mikä se tunnetaso nyt Harrilla on.
In terms of the championship, Jeffrey Hurlings, well, he arrived here 139, clear of his teammate Jordi Tixier. And he'll clear another 10 points, I think, there. But no change in the top 8 positions, top 16 positions. Petrov closing a little bit on Anstey, though. Just one mover. Tim Geiser up to 24th after race 1 today. Well, Jeffrey Hurlings was our winner from race 1. He's down by the podium. Let's hear what he has to say.
Jeffrey, in your own words, Saturdays really aren't your day, but Sundays seem to go rather well.
Yeah, Sunday when I had to do it, I do it normally always, and I got a good start, came out second and passed Glenn the second corner and made a decent lead, about a minute in front, I think, and I'm really pumped about my riding, went really good, so I hope to do the same second moto. You know, all I need is a good start and my bike to stay healthy and not get a DNF, and then I'll be solid for the day.
Good luck.
Yeah, yesterday was a very busy day for Jeffrey Hurlings, going down at turn 1 and having to work his way through. But today, a different story. Was leading by the time he came out of turn 3. And from there, he never looked back, 56 seconds clear of Glenn Coldenhoff on the standing construct KTM, who finished 2nd. And that will be for the 3rd time this year that Glenn Coldenhoff has taken a 2nd place finish in a race. He's down there with Amy.
Glenn, you won the qualifying race yesterday and another great jump out of the gate today.
Yeah, I got another whole shot, you know, super pumped about that. I did my own job and I got a good rhythm, so I finished 2nd now and up to the 2nd moto.
Best of luck for 2nd race.
Glenn Coldenhoff then makes it a Dutch 1-2 in moto number 1. Got the whole shot. Picked up the Get Athena €250 as a result of that, but just concentrated on his own race, didn't try to race Hurlings. Did enough to stay ahead of the rest, though, picked up 22 points in the process. And he was at a decent gap ahead of the Monster Energy Yamaha rider from Australia, Dean Ferris, who pretty much started third and stayed there. Here he is with Amy.
Dean, you were also caught up in that first corner crash yesterday in qualifying, but starting gate didn't seem to cause too many problems today.
Yeah, yesterday I fought hard and I got back to 15th, and that's a good enough gate pick. Everyone's sort of starting in the middle where I was anyway, so it was no disadvantage. But no, I got a decent start and I passed a few guys on the first lap, and I rode the best first moto I have all year. Before this, the best I'd done in the first moto was 5th, so it's like rewarding for me.
Well done.
Thank you.
Dean Ferris third for the second time in a race this year, but has been second before, of course, in Qatar in Moto number 2 and also Portugal in the second race. But well placed to potentially get a podium here this weekend at the Grand Prix of Finland.
Ja Ferris kertoi, että tiesi, että kun rata on näin rankas kunnossa, niin startti on tärkeä. Ja sai aika hyvän startin siinä ja muutaman sijaan nousi ja veti tiukkoja hyviä kierroksia ja ei muuta kuin sitten erittäin tyytyväisenä kolmantena.
Well, a bit more water going down on the track. Good crowd here this weekend in Hyvinkää. See what happened in race 1. Gate drop, good jump for Hurlings and Harry Kulas up the inside. Not such a good one for Charlier alongside them, but they get the Athena whole shot award going to 259, the standing construct KTM and Glenn Coldenhoff, but by turn 3, Hurlings was already through and disappearing off into the distance. Jordi Tixier went down towards the end of the first lap, picked himself up outside the points, but eventually would charge back through to get 5th. Tonkov, Boutron, Ferrandis and Kulas were having their own little battle for 6th position for what seemed like an eternity. Eventually Ferrandis went round the outside of Boutron and went after Tonkov, found a way through, or he thought he did, at the inside. Tonkov denied him though. Did eventually go through, but then the battle for 4th was between the two Will Vonestad GM Racing KTMs. Jack Nichols eventually going past his teammate, Roman Fevre, who would then have to disappear down pit lane with a problem with the rear end of the bike, it looked like. Hurlings was up front. Coldenhoff there was second, but the win went to Hurlings. He was the winner in Moto number 1. Ferris was 3rd, Nichols 4th, and Jordi Tixier was 5th.
Suomessa tai missään muuallakaan. Hoho, olihan erää. Miten se nyt kiteyttäisi? Ristiriitaiset fiilikset. Varmaan niinku kullaksi Harrilla.
Well, that was MX2 race 1. We're back in a minute with MX1 race 1.
7, mutta mun mielestä Harri oli oikeasti